Okay, good.
Good.
Got everything you need?
I don't even know what's in this.
Hello and welcome to episode 41 of I'm going to have to do that again now.
Is it 41? 42?
Oh, fuck. You're right, it's 42. Well spotted. Glad you're on it today.
And you're meant to be in charge of the figures.
Hello and welcome to episode 42 of I'm Fine, a chat between myself, Damo, and a man who's going through clothes like Bruce Banner, discarding garments in his wake as they're forcibly ripped and shredded from his bulging and athletic frame.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Mark, hello.
Incredible.
It's a chat around the subjects of health, wealth, well-being, fitness, sports, and...
anything that crops up.
Yeah. We're all work in progress, and this podcast is no exception. In short, it's a poke at our perfectly imperfect lives, and if we can make just one person feel like they're not alone in all this, then our work here is done. If you haven't already subscribed to us, then please do so, as you'll never miss an episode.
I'm thinking maybe we change this a little bit at the beginning.
Yeah, well, I keep forgetting to rewrite it.
Oh, okay.
What would you like to put in there instead?
No, yeah, you rewrite it. Yeah.
What, but say the same thing?
So whatever you like. It's your pod.
It's not it's yours as well, 50-50 share.
Mm.
It's mine when it's not going so well, isn't it? No, but you...
I like the introduction because it gives us a sense of familiarity.
Yeah.
I like it.
And you're not bothered about whether people subscribe to us or not?
I don't think it really has that much effect.
Okay, cool. Well, I don't know whether people are. That's the thing. All right,
No.
fuck it off then. Coming up in warm up and stretch, got some catch up, some bookmarks to do in work-life ballet. Get your streak on.
Mm.
Get your streak on. Get your streak on. No?
Oh, as in
Elliott?
freak. Yeah. Gotcha.
In brain food, we're going to look at the Uncanny Valley.
Yeah. Again, know nothing
And
about
it's
that.
not in Somerset. That's Yale Valley, who do yogurts, not to be mistaken.
Oh, I thought that was like street.
What, in Somerset?
No, like street talk.
Oh, right.
Yale Valley.
I like street, actually.
What, the place?
Yeah, in Somerset, yeah.
Yeah. It's a place in Somerset called Mark.
Yeah, my accountant lives there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anywho, how are you?
Yeah.
You kind of came in today talking about washing cars because you noticed one of the cars.
One of your cars, it's like you got a whole supply. On the,
My fleet.
Yeah. On the fleet, one particular car
Yeah.
looked shiny, well washed, even nay turtle waxed if Wayne had been
Yeah,
round.
which odd because it hasn't. I mean, mine looks like an absolute.
Yeah, but
shit tip,
it's
doesn't
wet
it?
around the car. The
It's been
floor.
raining.
No. The floor around the shiny car is wet.
Well, maybe someone has.
Well,
anyway, you came in and
I
said.
came in and started talking. You went, just slow down,
Yeah.
shut up,
Leave this for the pod.
leave this for the pod. So all I was going to say, surprisingly enough, I have a story about car washers.
Yeah.
I was washing my car about 2 years ago. I probably wash it maybe twice a year, I reckon.
Oh, you absolute hound.
You've seen the state of it.
Oh, no, I got that close, to be honest.
No, but
I've only been in it once, and that's when you gave us all a lift to the pub.
So
Well,
that was going to be
pub?
no, that was going to be Bob from
There's only
Blackadder.
one way you say pub. It's not like, oh, people in Bath say pub.
No. Bob, you know Bob.
Blackadder.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he goes Bob.
Bob.
Yeah, and so I was just doing
Oh, you're
pub,
doing pub.
in Rowan Atkinson.
Right. It wasn't very good.
No,
Your car's a shithole. Is that what you're saying?
yeah. So twice a year I'll clean it, and I was cleaning my car, and somebody pulled up outside my house.
Yeah.
Got out the car with a dog, and went for a walk on the common. So I thought, random act of kindness, because her car was even messier than mine, I'll leave mine and wash her car for her while she takes the dog for a walk. Why are you shaking your head?
It's just so weird.
So
If I was her and saw you do that, I'd be running back.
well, this is part of the story. So I thought I've probably got a good 15 minutes. It was a little terrier. It was going
And
to
you must have thought, this could go one of two ways.
I don't think you meant to just go around washing other people's cars.
No.
But it's
I
meant
think
to be a
it's my
random
point.
act of kindness. It was like the effective altruism. This one I
Does it
wasn't going to
make-
broadcast.
Does it make any better? You're not going to just go wash someone's hair without their permission, are you? I'm just being kind. God,
Yeah,
chill out.
Stay still. Keep your eyes shut. It stings.
Anyway.
So anyway, I started washing her car. I got the old chamois out and gave it a proper...
on the finish. Yeah.
Then, noticing across the common,
Yeah.
little terrier barking, followed by
The dog noticed first.
quick striding woman. And I thought, I've got to make a call here. So I literally just ran. But so 3/4 of her
What,
car...
you're at your house?
Yeah,
You
I
ran away
into
from
the
your
house.
house?
No, I
Oh, you
ran into the house and hid.
Right.
So when she came back,
Yeah.
she would have found 3/4. And because I'm not very good at cleaning cars, most people would clean the whole car and then chamois the whole car.
Oh, come on. No.
I did it in bits. So I do the
No.
boot, I do the bonnet, and then the sides. So basically,
What? So you clean it and then chamois that bit, clean it and chamois?
Yes.
You, honestly.
just because I like getting that one piece. Anyway, so about 1/4 of her car was absolutely filthy, and the other 3/4 was spotless.
Right.
And I just love to. She's going to go.
Do you wish you'd stayed there and just listened to the...
Yeah. So yeah, that was. It just came to mind, that incident.
Yeah.
Because on the course today we were talking about
So
acts of kindness for other people.
Right. So I think the moral of that story is just don't do anything kind.
Don't. No.
What can you do? But you're right, though. You're right. We saw each other this morning, didn't we? We've already. This is our second
On our
rendezvous.
secret mission.
Yeah, it wasn't a secret mission. It's good.
It was.
Anything you don't want to talk about in this episode?
No.
Have you got anything on your mind that you really don't want to talk about?
Well, like COVID.
Oh, I mean, but yeah, par exemple.
That's what you meant. Oh, I've got so much. I'll keep it.
I mean, the point is we're not going to talk about it.
No.
I just want to stress that.
Okay.
Okay?
You're being sarcastic.
No, I haven't got a sarcastic bone in my body.
No. Okay. We'll just see how it goes. I don't know what I'm going to say. I have a lot to say.
So I don't know if this is good therapy for you, isn't it? It's good to kind of just get a few things off your chest. Carry on. If you think of anything, then please do interrupt us. I'm sure you will do.
I think this first bit, we never know what we're going to say, do we?
No, I do. I've got it all written down here.
What, your impromptu?
Yeah,
Okay, you lead.
my
I
planned
will follow.
spontaneity.
Like the Pied Piper.
Someone noticed this morning because we met, didn't we? We met safely, as we always do.
Yeah.
Like we are here.
Yeah.
We were wearing masks,
Correct.
weren't we?
Yep.
So people who wear glasses, masks are a pain in the arse.
Did you see that today?
Yeah.
Yeah. Very
They are
tricky.
shit, aren't they?
Yeah.
Most people must be struggling with that.
Mm.
It's a real bitch, isn't it? I mean, I get a little bit that when I put my snood on and I'm on my bike in the winter. And if you stay still, as soon as you stop at the traffic lights, start breathing,
Yeah.
your goggles all messed up and you're absolutely screwed until you get going again. But of course, it must be a nightmare for people going shopping, breathing in glasses and taking the glasses off. Or
Yeah. And I
Isn't
was also aware, because I could tell I was having to demist them quite a lot. I was demisting them with, something from my pocket that had basically been wrapped around the mask, that had been wrapped around my face.
Yeah.
And I thought, this isn't hygienic. It isn't.
yeah. You mean your handkerchief?
Yeah. But there was the woman in the House of Commons, wasn't there, who was actually filmed, basically like took her glasses out, sort of licked them and then cleaned them without, or with her mask or something like that. That was it. She cleaned her glasses with the mask. But no, it isn't. It isn't easy with glasses at all.
No, it's not. Just a little shout out to people who wear glasses.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't.
We got you.
I'm sympathising.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got you.
Okay.
Last couple of episodes, it's been a real insight into your mind. And I called you youth, didn't I? I said you're far too youth. You're well youth. I think you are.
When I listen,
I think you're more in touch with the youth than the youth.
I have had the word. I think we mentioned this early on. A couple of people have gone, there's this little bit of Peter Pan. And it's, I think...
Who's mentioned that?
Yeah, one has.
Yeah.
I think there's a real fine line between having a genuine interest in things that are normally interesting to younger people or a desperate need to try and remain young and relevant despite all the indications.
I don't think that's you. But it's funny, isn't it, that there's, I don't know, is it perception or is it actually a thing that happens where people just check out? We're all on the same planet, we're all receiving the same news and have the access, most of the time, have the access to the things everyone's got access to. You get to a point where you just check out and can't be bothered. You like what you know and you know what you like and that is it.
Yeah, yes.
Or, you just have an interest in the world. So then age doesn't really have anything to do with it. So it's weird how people, how you are interested in all culture. That happens to be every age group, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So it's not unusual, isn't it? But I think it's a bit of a perception that
but it's a sort of midlife crisis, isn't it? Yeah.
That you have an interest in the teenagers or the early 20s and early 30s are kind of into.
Yeah.
But why should they? It's not exclusive.
No.
I mean, technology isn't exclusive to the young.
No.
Politics isn't exclusive to the young. Health, it certainly isn't exclusive to the young.
No.
So, but there's a perception there, isn't there? I've kind of done it. I've gone, you're well youth.
Yeah.
So I'm making a judgment, aren't I?
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I know what I'm saying. I'm kind of playing up a little bit, but
No. I understand what you're saying completely, and I think
I don't think it has anything to do with it. I think it's cool that you're interested in a load of stuff. So I think it's cool. I can't keep up, so I'm the one feeling like I'm not taking it all in.
I was training with my youngest daughter's boyfriend who hasn't been into training and wanted to train, and ironically, I put on a playlist that I'd made for my previous training partner, and he went, "Do you honestly listen to this?" And I went, "Yeah." And it was interesting because he went, "But this is what I listen to." And I thought that, in a way, confirmed what you're saying, because that was my playlist that I'd just done, because that's what I listen to when I'm working out.
In a way, it was an observation, but it was also judgment.
Yeah, it was like,
otherwise, he wouldn't have
number
said
one,
anything.
why are you listening to this? If I'd been 25 and put it on, he would have gone smashing.
Yeah, we wouldn't have mentioned
smashing
anything.
tunes. That's exactly what he would have said.
Yeah.
And I think you can end up being a bit of an apologist. It's the same thing with, we've had discussions before, and I know it comes up in the first section of every bloody podcast, but I don't do any pictures of me working out now, or very, very, like yesterday, it was just weights that I showed. And a couple of people have said, like, I don't think anybody wants to see a 60-year-old man's body. And I thought, but that's very representative of society, isn't it? It's almost a judgmental thing, is that, well, unless you've got either a young body
just
or
the person who calls you Peter Pan. I mean, I really wouldn't trust a thing they said.
No, I mean, society as a whole has a sort of you're 60, you're taking your shirt off.
Not an individual, general. Yeah.
It's almost like you get to a certain age
crazy,
where you
isn't
don't.
it? But you showed me some older gentlemen who are fitness fanatics, and they're in amazing shape.
Yeah.
And they're likely to live, all being well. They're going to give themselves a really good chance to keep on going, right? And keep living, like doing all the things, the active things that people of their age just simply can't do.
But I think there is people that are not prepared, that's the wrong word, people who, I think judgmental is what you said.
I think
it's
weird how we've just got this, the old and the young and the middle age, we're all trying to compartmentalize, aren't we?
I think it's a gender thing as well, because I think what I'm finding with women beyond a certain age, maybe beyond, 45, 50, whatever, they'll be the first one, she should know better. That sort of judgment, she's not 16 anymore, she shouldn't be wearing that. That still exists. It definitely does still exist. It does, yeah. But I think what's interesting around women that are making, especially women that are working out and actively changing their bodies, that there becomes quite a lot of pride and positive judgment towards that. Like, well, fair play on you for doing that. Whereas I don't necessarily think it is quite the same for blokes.
I've got a question for you. When I mentioned the film Twins in the last...
Yeah.
Have you ever seen Twins?
No.
Fucking knew it.
I know it.
I listened back. I thought you went, yeah. I went, Twins? And you went, yeah. And I thought, does he know?
I've seen the cover of the DVD, because it's like ironic because they don't look like twins, I guess.
And I knew it. I just had to bring that up. But I've realised that I need to, I made a little list, very short list of films that I think you should start on.
Good.
If you're interested in...
I reckon I probably...
Do you have the time to sit and the attention span?
And no desire.
And no inclination?
No.
So is this a waste of time? I can tell you
there'll be people that'd be interested.
You can take it. Just not you.
No. I'm doing this more and more when you're talking about something, and I'm just going, that's probably enough.
So Twins, I think, will be good because we just talked about it.
Well, you've told me everything now.
Well, I haven't given the plot away.
No, okay.
WALL-E, which is the Pixar film about the little robot.
I think I might have seen that.
Have you? Where he goes to space. Have you seen that?
No,
he's basically tidying up the world because we've fucked it up.
Maybe.
Back to the Future 1 to 3. I think it's important for you to watch.
Well,
have you seen any of those?
No, but what's the one in LA? Universal.
You've done this before. You said I've been to the set of.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one in Los Angeles is actually the set of Hill
Back
Valley.
to the Future. Yeah, well, I've seen that. Next.
You haven't seen the films.
I've seen the car.
That's such a thing. Huh?
I've seen the car, and I think you sit in it and do stuff. Anyway, carry on. I'm not going to watch that.
Star Wars.
Oh, fuck off.
What? One?
No,
what?
no, don't. Putting numbers next to it. Oh, I'll do 6 then.
No, I think you should do 4 to 9.
I'm not
Star
touching
Wars,
any of
Rogue
that
One,
shit.
and
No.
Solo. And then the Bourne trilogy, because I think you like them.
How many of those?
That's actually more than 3. That's actually true.
Born Free.
No,
That's the one with the lions.
You've fucking seen that one, haven't you? Because it's fucking old. For old people, you oldie.
I'm desperately trying to think of films that I have watched. I've watched loads.
The ones that no one's ever heard of.
Just not good with names.
Anyway, also in the last pod, reference to that, when I was talking about wearing clothes on the plane, and you went, I'm not going to wear all my clothes because that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Said someone who wears all their clothes to bed, which I
that's
thought was
true.
brilliant.
Yeah.
I don't mean all my bookmarks aren't picking holes in you.
No.
It just made me laugh.
Just on a run. On a
It's like
streak.
where you go, no, that's fine, but that is a little bit weird. I love that. Your boundary's hilarious.
Although
It's a bit like washing cars, strangers' cars. It's like, that's a boundary. It's a clear boundary, isn't it?
When I first started saying the story, your eyes are going like,
No.
you're not
Please
even
don't,
lying,
Mark.
are
Please
you?
don't, Mark. Please tell me you didn't clean. No, you did. It's great though. It's a good story, isn't it?
I like it. I like doing like this because I like reacting rather than because I had one up my
It's like
sleeve.
you're squaring up to me now.
Yeah.
You just kind of brought your shoulder and your chest out, and I'm going to batter you in a minute.
Oh, I've just been doing loads of
You give me another
exercises on the
bookmark. Right, I'm
course.
going to absolutely finish you, son. Right.
Go on then.
Dolly the sheep
Yeah.
is dead.
Mm-hmm.
Our resident army captain
Shot
actually
her. The sawn off.
No, he actually wrote in.
Yeah.
He emailed me not long after
Yeah.
it came out. So she was born in the 5th of July 1996 in Scotland and died on the 14th of February 2003, age 6. But she had complications, health complications.
Okay.
Probably the fact she was made in a lab.
Mm.
God rest her soul. And this is a bit sad. The New York Times had someone on Instagram the other day. It's a picture of 2 northern white rhinos, the last 2
Oh, yeah.
northern white rhinos left
Yeah.
on Earth, because the last of the male species, Sudan, died in 2018. And his daughter and granddaughter, Najin and Fatu, became the only 2 of their kind left. Now they live out their days in a strange existential twilight, a state of limbo that scientists call functional extinction.
That is sad, isn't it?
It's haunting, isn't
Yeah,
it? It's awful.
yeah.
Their subspecies is no longer viable. 2 females, obviously, all by themselves, would not be able to save it.
No.
And the picture, I mean, is stunning. I'll put a link up, but absolutely heartbreaking. There's literally nothing you can do. But maybe, I don't know, maybe there's some genetics going on. I'm talking about Dolly. Maybe they can just spin something out.
I'm sure they're taking DNA and one day they're able to.
We are probably we probably already are with it at Jurassic Park. I mean, that just seems far-fetched, doesn't it? But it is based on what science is able to do.
Yeah.
You'd like to think they could turn that around. But God, we're assholes, aren't we?
It's brought it down a bit.
It has, isn't it?
Antiques Roadshow, that'll cheer you up. Or have you got another bookmark? You had another one there. Bring that up, and then I'll do Antiques Roadshow for you. It's just come into my mind.
Oh, you've actually got one? I thought you'd just been funny.
No,
I mean,
no.
you are funny.
No,
actually.
no. Is there another one
Bitcoin.
there? Oh, yeah. We predict something, the world goes mad.
We did mention it, didn't we? Did we mention it on the financial one we talked about? We did, didn't we?
Definitely.
So there's 2 stories that came up this week, actually.
I know one of them.
Yeah, because I sent it you.
Oh,
Well, our
did you?
beautiful listeners probably aren't aware. And if they are, they can just have to listen, sit through this. They're on a similar tip. There's a little bit of a clue for the first story. I'm not going to explain what Bitcoin is, but it's based on blockchain. People can go and look that up. It's really, really complicated. Yeah, it is a cryptocurrency, and it's probably the most popular one. There are a handful of them now. There's one kind of pretty much invented every minute.
And if you were still on WhatsApp, you would have seen an offer from one of our mates.
What, Bitcoin offer?
No, another new thing.
The next Bitcoin. And why would it be the next Bitcoin? Only because he's going to get $10 worth of that currency because he sent it to you and you sign up for $10 of that currency. They're all doing it. So why do you think it's the next big thing? Only because he gets $10 out of it. Mentioning no names, Wayne. Anyway, that might be the next bit. 1 year later,
You're going to be sorry.
Yeah, he's driving around in his 3 Lambos. So as I talk at this minute, 1 Bitcoin is worth £27,503.11. Pretty amazing, really. I remember looking at it when it first came out, just trying to understand it.
Yeah.
Thinking, shall I? And I think I was my first job, I think, maybe. Looking at it, I got no disposable cash at that point. But I think if I had, I probably would have done, because it's something I probably would have done.
Yeah. It was like when Leicester won the Premiership at 5,000 to 1 and everyone goes, why didn't I just put a fiver on that?
Of course,
but I mean, you can't.
No.
That isn't the same in terms of no one could have guessed with Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Retrospectively, you can go back and go. So, I used to buy Cougarans back in the day.
Cougarans.
They're blocks of gold from South Africa. When I was at school, I used to invest in Cougarans.
All right. Still got any?
No, sold them.
Did you physically have them?
Yeah,
or did
yeah,
you just
physically
invest
have
in
them.
someone who's...
No, I bought them, sent them in the post.
Are they worth anything now?
Back in the day, I don't know if
still
they still
gold,
exist.
gold,
actually.
or is it
Yeah,
type-
it's solid gold.
Okay.
So it's like, I think it was something like quarter ounce, half ounce, those sort of...
Okay.
I invested in gold and silver a lot in my teens.
Right.
Because...
you were wise beyond your years. Well, you were, really.
It was exchange and mark. This was the funniest thing. I used to collect coins and stamps.
Nerd.
I told you about my how I made my money to buy my motorbike. I must have told you this.
So, cigarette cards.
Oh no, that's how I got Santana albums. No, the
Sorry,
the washing powder. I must have told you this.
Coupon?
Okay, very quickly.
Come on, I'm trying to talk about Bitcoin here.
This is where I got...
No,
do you do Bitcoin?
No, it's all right.
No, this is better.
No.
So,
is this where you cleaned up?
I was very...
I should have left that for later, shouldn't I?
Yeah. I've always been very entrepreneurial. And this was when I was at school. Inflation was running at about 20%. So my mind thought, and savings accounts then were much better. You could get decent savings because of inflation.
Yeah.
And I thought it's far better to piggyback onto inflation than put your money in savings. So the money that I was earning, things like I rented some garden from my mum. I told you that, didn't I?
No.
So I rented some garden and grew vegetables and then sold them back to my mum. But I had to pay a rent for the garden.
Yeah, very entrepreneurial.
And we all made, everyone was happy.
Yeah.
So I realised that if you bought something that was non-perishable.
Perishable.
Yeah. If you bought something that was non-perishable on January the 1st, on December the 31st, a year later, with inflation at 20%, you would have made 20% return on your money. That's how inflation works.
Yeah.
As long as the item you bought was basically consistent.
Yeah.
So it isn't an investment as such. It's just going, all things being equal, something costs £1 January the 1st, it'll cost £1.20 December the 31st.
Yeah.
So with all the money that I'd made from growing vegetables, washing cars,
Other people's
theft,
drug running, the usual. Yeah.
I'm not even going to list anymore.
To be fair, washing cars is a lie.
3/4 washing cars. Never made as much as I could have done. So I invested in Persil automatic washing powder, and it was always Persil. And I stored it in my bedroom, piles upon piles of washing powder.
All the things you were going to...
Every time I earned money, I went, especially I would do it with coupons, or they didn't have 2 for 1 back in the day, but they would have special offers and things like that. So whenever it was reduced, I would invest my money.
Okay, right.
So my bedroom, lovely smelling bedroom for a teenage boy, to be honest, under the bed, all the sides, absolutely rammed. And I just sat on this for a year.
Right.
And then sold it to either my mum or my mum's friends and going, well, look, Persil's going to cost you, whatever it is in the shops now.
Yeah.
So I'd buy it at £1.
Yeah.
It would then be £1.20 in the shop.
Yeah.
So I'd sell it at £1.15.
I was going to say, sell it £1.
Yeah.
Rubbing your hands.
Cover my costs.
Yeah.
It's not too big a price for a lovely fresh bedroom. And although it was only small amounts, in those days it was a decent... It's the return that's important. So if I'm making 15%, if someone said to you, invest all the money you've got and make 15% over a year, you'd be chuffed. So that's
then
how
your mum charged you...
storage.
15p per box storage.
Yeah, she found a finder's fee.
Yeah.
Her mates would come round. Yeah.
Cleaned up. Do it again. Right. So Bitcoin, for now, people have obviously not listened to your story and gone out and researched what Bitcoin is all about. So they're all up to date.
Yeah.
There's a chap in Newport who threw away a laptop hard drive containing Bitcoin, and he believes what he had on there is now worth about £210 million. So he's contacted his council to ask if he can go and root around in the landfill for it. So James Howells had 7,500 Bitcoins of virtual currency, yes, we know that, which he mistakenly threw away in 2013. He said he was willing to donate 25% of the value of the Bitcoins to his home city of Newport in South Wales.
You could buy Newport for 25 million.
That would be about 52.5 million if he found the hard drive. Okay. Newport Council said excavation was not possible under its licensing permit. Good luck to him finding that.
Didn't you originally send it to me to say he had 2 guesses?
No, it's a different chap.
That's a different one.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the other guy, who's a guy in America, knows where his Bitcoin is.
Yeah.
And
not buried.
Not buried. This would probably make a really good film. I'll try and follow this up to see how he gets on. Programmer Stephen Thomas has forgotten the password that will allow him to unlock a hard drive containing $240 million worth of Bitcoin. So after 10 failed attempts, the password will encrypt itself, making the wallet impossible to access. And there's been a couple of people that have offered to help him for a cut. And that's kind of as far as he got. But that's
how could they help him? Because I sent a couple of suggestions through to you.
Password, and was it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Yeah, I mean,
I'm not saying that he's going to take my advice.
No.
But
imagine if
just a thought.
It'd be funny if it was something like that, wouldn't it? Password 1, 2, 3 or something. So we'll see. Yeah, this person who's offered to help him has said, "Well, I'll do it for 10%." It's incredible that it's worth so much. But it's also incredible it's so unstable in terms of the systems and infrastructure in place that you either can't get to it.
It's not piles of washing powder, is it?
No. Yeah, exactly.
I rarely watch television. But
we've established that.
Sometimes I'll put it on. I will put on trash as white
you
noise.
You talk about Bargain Hunt or Home to the Hammer a lot.
Yeah. I love trashy TV as a sort of wallpaper. Really love it.
Do you like Come Dine With Me?
Yep.
It's good, isn't it?
There's another one that will absolutely blow your mind. Seriously.
What's that?
I don't know why this hasn't won Oscars.
Is this what you're talking about now?
No.
Oh.
Four in a Bed. It is so good.
Is that the one where the people come around the house?
And stay at each other's B&Bs.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Yeah, they stay at little hotels or bed and breakfast, and they basically rip it to pieces because they find one pubic hair in the bed, and basically,
Right.
oh, it's so good.
Okay.
So good.
Yeah, I'm all right.
Yeah, give that a go. Give that a go.
Thanks. Top tip. We're running late, but sounding great. Habit forming with streaks. I cannot remember what pod it came up on, but streaks came up when we were talking about, I think, maybe habit builder, but I think it was more, we're kind of touching on addiction, I think, at the time.
Yeah.
Or certainly addictive tendencies and the idea of, I think we might have even talked about not drinking and that becoming a streak.
Yeah.
Certainly the 10,000 steps became the streak thing, didn't it?
Yeah,
and
we talked about that
if
a
you
lot.
get into that and you start to get the habit going, but the benefit as a streak is that you don't want to break the streak. Therefore, you keep on doing it.
Yeah. I don't know what you've prepared, as ever, because you have prepared, but I would like to go back to the streak and addiction bit. Yeah. If that's okay with you.
Yeah, we can do that. There's something called, have you heard of the Seinfeld strategy? Oh, you have?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. There's a young comedian called Brad Isaac starting out in the comedy circuit, and he bumped into Jerry Seinfeld while he's performing and had this kind of conversation with him. So this is how he described his interaction. So the way to be a better comic was to create better jokes, and the way to create better jokes was to write every day. He told me to get a big wall calendar that has a whole year on one page and hang it on a prominent wall. The next step was to get a big red magic marker. And he said, for each day that I do my task of writing, I get to put a big red X over that day. So Phil says, after a few days, you'll have a chain. Just keep it up and the chain will grow longer every single day. You'll like seeing that chain, especially when you get a few weeks under your belt. And the only job you have to do is not break the chain.
Yeah.
The point here is that Seinfeld didn't mention anything about results. Which I think is the important thing to remember here. And there's kind of one caveat to this Seinfeld strategy is that you need to pick a task that is meaningful enough to make a difference, but simple enough that you can get it done. Yeah. There's a simple premise, isn't it, actually, when you think about it, and you can apply it to anything. But of course, you're not going to do something that is so awful and so, it has to be something that you're going to get something out of, right?
Yeah, although, and I agree.
Otherwise, why would
you do something that's going to persecute yourself?
Yep.
But it was interesting in the discussion with Brian in the last pod when he was mentioning streaks for rest, and we sort of laughed, and I thought...
But that is a huge benefit, though,
that
isn't it?
That is a huge benefit, yeah, but it isn't necessarily... Most of them tend to be proactive. I'm going to run more, not drink or whatever. Right.
But we did touch on it, didn't we, that not everybody is good at taking rest, taking time, taking breaks, relaxing their mind or body at the same time. The Seinfeld strategy works because it helps to take the focus off individual performance and puts the emphasis on process instead. It's not about how you feel, how inspired you are, or how brilliant your work is that day. Instead, it's just about not breaking the chain.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk about one of Seth Godin's blogs where he talks about streaks. Where he writes, today's the 11th year in a row of daily posts on this blog, nearly 5 million words since my first post 20 years ago, and I haven't missed a day, given some time zone wiggle room since 2008. So he says, streaks are their own reward. Streaks create internal pressure that keeps streaks going. Streaks require commitment at first, but then the commitment turns into practice, and the practice into habit. Habits are much easier to maintain than commitments. And he says, I'm pretty sure that the blog will still have an impact if I missed a day here or there. But once a commitment is made to a streak, the question shifts from, should I blog tomorrow, to what will tomorrow's blog say?
Yeah, I like that.
Is it worth saying that we're revisiting this bit, Mark? We are. Seamless in the edit.
We recorded it 3 days, I can't remember, 3 days ago. And
we've listened back.
You sent it. Well, in fact, even before you sent it back, I went, this isn't good enough.
True. Yeah, you did.
It was just...
About an hour after you got home, I think, you were like,
nope.
No, I said, let's just edit it and see how it goes. And you went, no, it's even worse than I thought.
Which is why I said to you when we came apparent here a quarter of an hour ago is, firstly, it's a hands up in terms of, we're going to redo it. We're going to make it better than it was. And just been thinking about having to see that as a positive. Do you know what I mean? Having a bit of recollection and just thinking, in retrospect, and we talked about retrospect quite a bit, in retrospect, we could have given a better 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So,
work in progress, etc., etc. Actually, I don't think we've ever really re-recorded anything.
No.
We've had a couple, haven't we, where we've just gone, oh my God.
Yeah. We're going to get away with that.
Yeah. But also, I think for me, it's that there's so many things. We plan it, we start talking about it, and then you start going, oh my God, that does that. What about that? Oh my God, there's a thing.
Yeah.
I think one of the things was when we kind of listened back to the opening of this little section, it was the Seinfeld strategy was based on process.
Yeah.
Rather than outcome.
Yeah.
Is it just about process, or there has to be an outcome, or is the process the outcome?
Yeah.
I.e., the outcome is I'm going to stick to something. It almost doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah.
But then we also said it needs to be something meaningful or something you're going to enjoy.
Yeah.
And then I was getting all confused, like, have we actually said the right thing? But I think it's clear to say that it's about both, isn't it? Process is really important, and to do things consistently and well and stick at them, there will be an outcome. The streak itself could be an outcome, or there could be an outcome, i.e. losing weight, exercise, drinking less.
I think on that one, just something that's come into my mind is something that PTs will know is something called RPE, which is the rate of perceived exertion. And quite often we'll say to a client, on a scale of 1 to 10, how are you finding that, or how hard is that, or how difficult is it? And that gives us some sort of guideline.
Yeah. Do you do that with me?
No, your face tells me.
I don't remember you asking, is this all right? I'm like, oh.
Or if it hurts too much, you just refuse to do it. I think what I was going to say with this is that similar in terms of perceived exertion, there's a certain element with a streak of setting the bar too low is your right. The process is reward in itself.
Yeah.
But I feel that there's always going to be that sense of dissatisfaction of, spending 3 minutes, like the stupid BBC documentary the other day that said you only need to train 6 minutes a week for muscle strength. And, okay. So the point I'm trying to make is the process correct, having a streak, positive, and we're going to discuss, positives and negatives.
Yeah.
But what you're trying to achieve is also important, and having that balance between the achievable and something that is so easy that it doesn't give you that element of satisfaction when you've achieved it.
Yeah. The other thing is not to make it too hard.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be daily, does it?
No.
It can be, the streak can be anything, but
it's just the next block in the building a streak, isn't it?
Yeah. So if it's too hard and you don't do it, that could be detrimental to your mental health, couldn't it?
Yes.
If you're not the kind of person to go, oh well, kick on, do better tomorrow, and just because streaks can get a little bit obsessive, can't they? And for some people. So that can be a benefit in itself, because it's obviously you really don't want to, and then, but of course there is a downside to that. If you break it, you could kick your own arse, and then it hasn't been helpful at all.
No,
you might not even start again because you're too busy kicking your own arse.
Yeah, and the takeaway on this, one of the things we discussed was having more takeaways, because our first attempt at this became
self-indulgent.
Sorry,
self-indulgent.
I just think it was badly aimed. I just think we ended up talking about dry January
unintentionally.
Yeah. Two sober guys going, how stupid dry January is. So the takeaway on this was that I mentioned to you just before we started recording about the Streak app that you had seen, and there are a number, but there is one just called Streak, and it's very interesting for me that. And I think very positive that when you look at the Streak app, the streak doesn't have to be every day or every hour or every week.
Right.
So one of them was a Monday to Friday streak that was one of the examples they gave was walking to work.
Right.
Well, you don't walk to work necessarily if you're working Monday to Friday on a Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah.
So it was interesting that the streak, you could plan the streak to go every weekday I'm walking to work rather than every day. And you could adapt the app so it didn't show up as, you failed on Saturday.
You put streaks into Google and you do get the app. There's lots of, and I didn't really click into them. And then you mentioned it on the review of this, you mentioned the apps.
Yes.
Because we were talking about it, then we were kind of saying, obviously, because it's quite, an obsessive, arguably addictive thing. We'll kind of cover that, I think, another time in terms of the 12-step stuff and streaks, which we have touched on before.
Yeah.
When we're talking to Brian and we're talking about, he was talking about Headspace, and you said, I use Calm.
Yeah.
And you mentioned then, and we didn't get into it, that there was a streak feature in that.
Yeah.
So you can then develop, I guess, positive habits through streaking, but via the app, which I wasn't aware of. I don't use Calm very much. As I said last time, I was smashed my phone trying to do a meditation. Anyway, and I just immediately went, oh my God, that's the dopamine loop.
Yes.
That's the compulsion loop. So now they are Calm and Headspace aren't getting you away from your phone, but they are tools to help you meditate, help you calm down, help you relax, help, mindfulness, etc.
Yeah.
And I immediately went, they're using the addictive nature of streaks, of notification, of, digital, to do kind of the opposite thing
Yeah.
of what they're trying to do.
Take away the pressures of normal everyday life, but make sure that you
Yeah.
you do it every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So don't kind of create a bad habit and, the old don't work too hard.
Yeah.
Close your laptop, get away from your laptop.
Yeah.
And come on and, just create that kind of dopamine compulsion loop thing over here. Why not? Because I guess all these apps, really cynically, all want eyeballs.
Yeah.
That's what any app
Yeah.
wants. The more
Yeah.
you use it, the longer you stay on it, the more they can justify the value of that to whoever. So, I'm not familiar with the streak thing in Calm. So, do you use it?
It isn't as obvious. It's more the reporting.
Right.
So I had the other
So
day.
it's not a feature as such. Just
It's there. It's being recorded. You have to
okay.
look for it a bit more.
right. Okay.
But as I said when we were talking to Brian, you get your resume of the year. So it was a bit like Spotify. And I noticed a lot of apps are doing this now,
Yeah.
a summary of your
Yeah.
year.
Yeah.
I think one of them was, I saw this, I think it was on Deliveroo. Oh, no. It was Monza. Is that the new bank?
Monzo,
the online. Yeah, they'd done...
Here's where you spend all your money.
Yeah. And this one guy had said, it was like... It's something like 99% of your expenditure has been in Hackney. And this guy goes, that's the McDonald's.
Right.
So everyone's doing this sort of resume of where you are. So the streak it doesn't sort of pop up and go, well done, this is 120 days where you've mined.
It's playing into something though, isn't it? It's tapping into.
And then when I read it, I went, oh, I thought I'd maybe done a bit more. There was a sort of judgment on my behalf of how much mindfulness I'd done, which is probably not what is correct.
So for Christ's sake, Mark, open your laptop, do some work, honestly. You're too full of mindfulness now.
We've had a constant narrative, if you like, about media and its influence. And it was interesting, one of my daughters, when I mentioned I'd gone on to Signal, said, why are you leaving WhatsApp? And I explained why. And she went, honestly, do you think they care less about you telling Damo you're going to be 10 minutes late for the podcast? And I went, totally. And she said, why? And I said, because every single piece of information, and I know it's a cliche, but if anything's free, then you're the product. And James Smith did a very good, I don't know if it was a live or a podcast on this the other day. And he was saying, basically, he said, like, I'm working my butt off for Instagram. I'm up to 750,000.
Yeah.
Every time I do something, they're waiting for me to do something because it's generating.
Yeah.
And he said, they don't give me a penny.
Yeah.
He had to work hard for his blue tick. And it's like, I'm working my butt off. And Instagram are going, just work harder, James. Just post more, get more people involved.
That's it.
So what I said to my daughter was, per se, they don't care. But I turned all my microphones off. I've now turned them all on to see what adverts come through.
Ooh.
And I'm getting a lot for expensive watches and diamond jewellery. Don't know why.
Because you're a baller.
Because I'm loaded.
Is that a new hat? Is that a new hat? Have you been spending?
New to you.
Okay, right. I thought you've been spending
No,
all your millions.
no.
Right.
Some of us are self-employed and get no money. So the point we was going to say is that we'd said about digital. And so the reason I was having this discussion was I said to my daughter about doing the streaks.
Yeah.
And she had said, oh, did you mention Snapchat? And I went, no, because I'm old.
We just had the whole thing about how much youth you are.
Yeah, but Snapchat's real youth, isn't it? It's like,
yeah, I guess.
So anyway, she was saying the streak on Snapchat was basically that you had an interaction with a friend every day and you didn't miss that. And I said...
And that is a measurement, because I'm not familiar. Is that a measurement? Is that again a feature?
Yeah. So you're now on a... it's actually called a Snapchat streak.
5 of 5 days. You'd have done... Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so
okay,
it's like for the last 10 days, you have spoken to this person, and then it becomes for 50 and 100.
Right, yeah.
So I said, where did it end up? And she said, it ended up over 500 with this one particular friend.
Great.
But I said, during that time, I said, like, you were on holiday and you were abroad and you were at school and you were ill. And she said, we gave each other logins so that we could keep the streak going if one of us couldn't do it. And I said, give me an example. And she said, if I was somewhere where I'd run out of data and I couldn't find Wi-Fi.
Should you pass it on to someone to do
quickly,
admin?
Someone keep my streak going.
Oh my.
And I said, well, that's a big pressure. And she said,
That's
yeah,
huge.
totally. So, yeah, I mean, and that's...
I never knew they did.
Yeah, and the figures come up and they come up for different people. So it's almost like, 500 for this person, 3 for this. It's obvious who my friend is.
There's all sorts of pressures, but also what if you don't hit it?
Yeah.
You've done 500. There's that point where we've gone too far now. We can't stop. And that's, a successful streak. That's why it becomes successful, isn't it?
And also the pressure from your friend. Like, well, just a minute, what happened? You know? we've had a year and a half of, this, and you've let it slip. Is it that unimportant to you?
On that note, there's a blog post which I put a link up to by someone called Louise Orders, where she says, it's relevant to what you're saying, a streak is the conscious work of consistency. It's new and it takes energy. It's a habit when it starts to get easier, less mental energy and juggling to make it happen. You're drawn towards it instead of pushing yourself to it. It makes you smile.
Yeah.
Now, everything you've just described
Don't
isn't that that just sounds stressful.
Yeah.
That sounds like it's, well, exactly, that streak isn't a habit that's getting easier. You've got admin, you're employing people to do it for you.
And it serves
it's
no
like, I can't do my
purpose.
10,000 steps today. Can you go out and do it for me?
Yeah. It doesn't mean anything,
No.
does it?
But, well, like I said, they're getting something out of it. That's not benefiting the person.
But what they're getting isn't true.
No, well, what is it
isn't,
where it
it isn't a
represents?
measure of friendship.
No, well, it certainly could be, couldn't it?
it can be
Don't
construed
break it, because
that
if
way.
you don't, we're over,
Yeah.
we're done.
Yeah.
That could be really dangerous.
Or how
couldn't it?
come you've kept it going with somebody else? So then you get a ranking of friendships,
Oh,
don't you?
God, yeah.
So that
So
was
I
really
guess like
interesting.
most things in life, there's tools we can use, and there's methodologies, and there's
Yeah.
things, but a lot of them can be used for good.
Yeah.
And clearly some of them can be turned to evil.
And I imagine
Couldn't
your average 14-year-old schoolgirl isn't going to go, well, I've been listening to a pod, and basically, let's try and make these streaks a bit more. Let's talk about, our 5 a day.
Yeah. Control through fear. Is that what
That's what that is.
that's okay.
That instance, I think, was fear. That was fear, fear of missing out, fear of breaking
Yeah,
a friendship, fear of being seen
Well,
as
fear of-
flaky.
Fear of missing out is the ultimate downside of digital, isn't it?
Yeah. In terms of fear, because we're going to probably touch on this around mental health and the
Yeah.
effects of streaks in terms of, that's a negative form.
Yeah.
How I was seeing fear is that if the process of the streak becomes overwhelming,
Yeah.
I looked into something that I'm going to start doing more of. So I looked about the word streak, and it's very hard to find the definition in the way we're using it.
Yeah, it is.
It doesn't really come across, and I thought that would be number one.
You have to dig for it, yeah.
So one of the things I found through the wonder of Google is the usage of different words over time.
All right.
And so in the 50s, the streak was a lot more used.
Right.
And it took a real sort of dive, 50s, 60s, 70s. It went down an awful lot.
Right.
I guess it popped up a bit when streaking became a thing. But I've noticed in the last few years it started coming up again, which is probably using streak in a different way than it used to be used. The point I wanted to make was I then looked back. A lot of the stuff in the 50s and 60s was around things like lucky streak. So it would be on the roulette table. It would be linked to, gambling or good fortune or almost superstition. I'm on a really lucky
Well, I guess it's used
streak.
in scratch cards and stuff, isn't it? That kind of language as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Streak and
And you also hear reference it on the TV when someone does really well, sort of getting 6 questions right on a quiz show, and someone goes, "Oh, like you should buy a lottery ticket today." It's almost about that if you've got loads of things that have gone well in a row, i.e. a streak, then somehow you're destined to continue on that line.
The habit that I'm trying to do, which is working, every time my supplements are next to the coffee machine. So I put the coffee machine on in the morning, and I go, ooh, and I write eye line. And
I see them every time I come in your kitchen.
Yeah.
I see those.
And it's working. And you were talking about habit stacking.
Yeah.
But that is a habit stack, isn't it? So my routine and my habit is getting the coffee. That's a habit that I don't even have to think about these days.
Yeah.
So stacking the supplement is the habit stacking bit.
Yeah.
Which
And
I think's a really interesting
that helped streak. So this is from Atomic Habits by James Clear. And it was, I know I was doing some work with a few people around hydration. I know it always seems to be a critical thing. Why is hydration such a problem? But one of the things that we were using was having a glass of water next to your toothbrush, but already filled.
Yeah.
Because people go, oh yeah, I've got a glass or a cup in the bathroom, but no, fill it.
Yeah.
And then when you brush your teeth, you never have to think about brushing your teeth. That's no longer a habit. It's a default. So that would be the stacking, that you'd have your glass of water as you brush your teeth, and then it becomes the norm. And like you're saying with the supplements, because even if you miss one on the coffee in the morning, you're going to be making another coffee.
That's it. That's exactly right.
You're not going to miss them.
Because the days I have missed doing it, I've got home, put a coffee machine, I've gone, oh.
Yeah.
So definitely work. And I like the idea that it's just a small step. We talk about small steps. It's just a small step away, isn't it? If you've got, why not piggyback something that's already a successful and positive habit with another? Yeah. What are the key kind of takeaways for streaking? We've talked about to build a habit, make it fun. Safe to say, keep it achievable.
Definitely.
If not, think about habit stacking.
It works both ways. If it's not achievable and you fail, that ain't going to work. If you know it's a piece of piss,
Yeah.
So it is finding that happy medium.
Yeah. So why are you doing it?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's always, with anything anyone's doing, it's always good to think, actually, why am I doing this?
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess it's important not to kick yourself if you do miss it. You know, you break the chain.
Yeah.
Keep going, I guess. Have you got any kind of thoughts around?
The one thought I have on that is sometimes people will say to me, I'm not going to drink for 30 days, as I mentioned to you before, but the caveat is I won't except for these 3 occasions. Now, I think that's fine. If you then wrap that up as a streak, it feels like 3 failures.
Yeah.
Rename it. It doesn't, not everything has to be a streak. So it can be, instead of drinking for 30 days, I'm going to drink for 3. So I'm going to reduce my drinking by 90%. Mm-hmm. But if you go, I'm not going to drink for January, and you already know that it's a birthday celebration or something, and you can still have a massive improvement. Not everything has to be a streak, is what I'm saying. Yeah. You can make a commitment and seek accountability with somebody else without going, I will not. Because if you know in your heart of hearts you will, then you're setting yourself up to fail. So I think that's my takeaway on this, is that streaks are important, and maybe start slow. You know, you could go, I'm not going to drink for the next 7 days. Don't set yourself up when you can see something on the horizon that might challenge that streak. So call it, a commitment to reduce, or share with someone that your intention is, I don't know, not to drink on a weekday. That's just as important as going, right, I've now gone X number of days without drinking. When we were talking about redoing this, and that's what I was saying about mental health, I think this is almost my trigger warning. I don't know if I've shared this with you. I've written to complain to the BBC about that thing. Yeah. And I don't know if you saw my Insta story.
I did.
Where they suggested I send a comment because they don't have many people into work.
Yeah, basically, I haven't got time for you.
Yeah,
for your
it actually
feedback.
said, don't complain, but if you can send a comment and just let us briefly know what's up. The trigger warning I was going to give on this is that people who have whatever mental health position they may be in, to put another layer on that at the wrong time can be more detrimental.
Yes.
So no matter how positive it sounds to, I'm going to do this, what I would say is that if you have either mental health problems that are fluctuating or mental health problems that are filling your mind, taking on something else that can end up in failure or perceived failure is something that you should really think carefully about.
Yeah.
Although I'm a massive proponent of streaks, and I do use them with clients, there is a big word of warning. And a streak can be a day.
Yeah.
Just for today.
Yes.
And we've used this phrase before. Just for today, I'm not going to.
Yeah.
Or just for today, I am going to.
Yeah.
So I would say, instead of going, this is coming back to our original edit about why New Year resolutions and having dry January and all that, it's the wrong way. Find a day, find an hour, one step at a time.
So brain food. Hopefully this is, I'm not sure, something that you've heard of, the Uncanny Valley.
No.
It kind of occurred to me.
You mentioned it a couple of times.
Yeah. And I guess it's kind of the definition of brain food. It's about food and about your brain. So we've touched on how plant-based food producers are hell-bent on making their products mimic the inherent characteristics of meat products.
Yes, we have mentioned
we've done that. As if us humans couldn't possibly use our massively powerful imaginations to comprehend anything other than meat, right? And as we've discussed, I'm not sure vegetarians are best pleased in having their packaged plant-based products reminding them of dead, cooked animal flesh,
replicating
right?
the thing that gives them the most pain.
Yeah. So this got me thinking. I remember we talked about it a few times, and there was something that just kept coming up in my head, but I didn't know what it was. What's the point in making something that isn't the thing, but wanting it to look like the thing?
Well, in fact, the antithesis of the thing, isn't it?
Yeah, the best way I could, ineloquently put it.
Yeah.
Why not make a new thing?
Yeah.
And I didn't quite know what it was, but Guardian article in 2019 by B. Wilson. It's not that the concept of imitation meat is anything new. For as long as there have been vegetarians or people too poor to buy meat, there have been mock meats of one kind or another. For centuries in Russia, cooks have made an aubergine puree that goes by the name of caviar, or consider Welsh Glamorgan sausage made from cheese, leeks and breadcrumbs, which became popular during the Second World War when meat was rationed. So I guess not new, which was new to me. The difference with the new fake meats is that thanks to developments in food technology, many of them have become uncannily realistic in both texture and in appearance. All major supermarkets are now pushing increasingly plausible meat-free versions of animal proteins, from flaky fish to burgers oozing with beetroot juice. Fascinated with what was the obsession, what's making us want it to look like something it isn't.
And also the names,
Yeah, we talked about that, haven't we?
Yeah.
Why don't they come up with different names for vegetarian chicken? I then came on to something called skeuomorphism. Familiar with that?
No.
Skeuomorphs are used in design for a number of reasons. Sometimes they can be simply decorative or aesthetic to convey a mood. However, they can also be used for more complex cognitive or functional reasons. An often used example is the Apple calculator on iOS. In the earliest versions of iOS, the calculator app looked a lot like a physical calculator. It's almost like the leap was too much to make something that looked like something you hadn't seen before. I guess it's about adoption as well.
Yeah.
Well, how can we get people into this? So these vegan foods, such as fake chicken that tries to replicate the streaky texture of cooked chicken flesh, or fake bacon with realistic visual streaks of pork fat, or bleeding burgers. Remember we were talking about the printed, the plant-based printed
the beef.
joint of meat.
Yeah.
These are all classic examples of skeuomorphism. Think of it as holding someone's hands as they are crossing a bridge. For people new to veganism or people who just want to reduce their meat intake, then this serves as a way to bring people across to something new. Which kind of starts to make sense.
So, so maybe our negativity is that it's an entry level. That's...
And this got me thinking about robots, and I couldn't remember why. I remember reading something, but I couldn't remember where I'd seen it, that something around that you trust things more if they look like something familiar.
Okay.
Which is exactly what skeuomorphism was.
Yeah.
This is the Uncanny Valley. In aesthetics, the Uncanny Valley is a hypothesized relationship between the degree of an object's resemblance to a human being and the emotional response to such an object.
Yeah.
The concept suggests that humanoid objects, which imperfectly resemble actual human beings, provoke uncanny or strangely familiar feelings of eeriness and a revulsion in observers. So the valley denotes a dip in the human observer's affinity for the replica, a relation that otherwise increases with the replica's human likeness. That's always been a bit of a fascination for me. You know, why do they try to make robots with human faces?
Yeah.
Or even sex dolls, for one thing.
Well, I was going to say,
look
the sort
more
of
real.
the living dolls thing now in Japan is very big, and that's becoming uncannily realistic.
But it is that thing where almost the closer it gets to the actual thing, it will never be close. Unless it's the real thing, it will never be close enough. And I think, you know, our human perception can pick those tiny, tiny nuances up. Maybe the fight or flight thing. Your brain is doing something to go, that ain't right.
Yeah.
That ain't, I think it's just built to protect you. So a lot of this came out of robotics and computer-generated design. So examples can be found in robotics, 3D computer animations, and lifelike dolls. With the increasing prevalence of virtual reality, augmented reality, and photorealistic computer animation, the Valley has been cited in reaction to the verisimilitude of the creation as it approaches indistinguishably from reality. The Uncanny Valley hypothesis predicts that an entity appearing almost human will risk eliciting cold, eerie feelings in viewers. And I thought that was kind of a prevalent thing with the food. Why can't we just understand that it isn't meat and just make something else? Make it round, make it square. It doesn't have to look like something else. But I also read some kind of opinions where people were saying, just because you're vegan doesn't mean you don't like the taste of meat, or you don't like the texture, or you don't like enjoying it, or don't actually...
It's a moral or...
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
so you don't actually,
don't
actually appreciate how good it is for your body in terms of the nutrients and things that are in it. But of course, morally, ethically, they don't want to be doing that. Whether that's environmental, whether that's cruelty to animals or whatever.
Yes.
I ignorantly
Makes more sense now,
didn't think about.
Our initial reaction is stick to your own, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, you go and do your veg and we'll do our meat. But I think that's a really good point. I think a lot of vegans would go, I don't want to eat a pig, but I can still appreciate crispy bacon and Antiques Roadshow isn't on my list of trashy TV.
Right.
Happened to be on the television. My first girlfriend was on it.
Again, shut the front door. Wow.
Now, two things.
Was she an antique? They kind of just like poking her, going, she could do with a bit of work, you know. She's a little bit chipped off her.
There must be loads of jokes here. I can't think of I'm just looking at you. I'm just thinking, where have all the puns gone? I think my wokeness is stopping me. Preempting discussion of my first girlfriend.
So just to clarify, your first girlfriend was on, she'd brought an item on, or was she one of the experts?
It was Celebrity Antiques Roadshow. No, not Roadshow.
Is she a celebrity?
Antique Road Strip.
Antiques,
where they go in old-fashioned cars. There's a celebrity and an antiques dealer.
So she's a celebrity, your first girlfriend?
Well, yes, but...
Hold on a minute. I think I know who this is.
Before you say it, before you say...
Oh, my mind's just gone.
No. So I got a lot of stick
My heart's pounding.
because as the program was on,
Yeah.
I was then relaying the program
Yeah.
to my youngest daughter
Yeah.
and going, it was funny seeing my first girlfriend on the television.
Right.
I explained, she went, that's not your first girlfriend. You were 11. I went, at 11, that's your first girlfriend. You're blooming, it's kiss chase,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
That's a girlfriend.
Yeah.
Anyway, so basically my story was just poo-pooed by going, no, that doesn't count.
This first girlfriend of yours
Yeah.
is a celebrity.
Well, I guess, yeah. Well, she was
Well,
on
she's a-
Celebrity
As the
Antique
as
Trip,
the
as the celebrity.
Yeah, celebrities these days.
Yes. Yeah.
Air quotes.
Yeah.
Aren't always celebrated,
Yeah.
should we say? She's well known.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Right. So was she your 11-year-old first crush, or was she an adult?
Oh, God, no, I wish you'd been an...
So is this someone you went to school with?
So I went to
and
school with her.
and ran around the playground with her?
Yeah.
Is that why your
spent a
daughter
lot of
went,
time
that's
on-
not real
Yeah,
relationship?
and was totally smitten. And then my best mate at school,
Yeah.
who was like the star of the school.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And
Did he get the girl?
I think he got the girl. Yeah.
Okay.
So I think
sorry to hear that.
I think
We're trying to lift the tone. It's all
Yeah.
kind of gone a bit sad again.
I had happy moments,
Oh, okay.
but
We've got to be careful what we're saying here if you're 11.
so yeah, no, I was very smitten with her. We used to do country dancing at school, and it was like if you got the chance to do country dancing, and yeah, I was totally smitten with her.
Did you get to do the do-si-do with this person?
And she came around for birthday parties and that. But then this other person, my best friend, who was, I think he was basically, I think he had a small beard at the age of 11. He was that sort of advanced. I think he just muscled in and took away my glory. But anyway, when she came on, it did revive old memories.
Yeah, it would do.
Yeah. You're looking at...
Her name's just gone. Was she a swimmer?
Nope.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, good. 20 questions. This makes it more of a game if you
It
don't know.
does,
I don't
yeah.
think I've ever told you. It only came into my mind that it had happened the other day.
I'm thinking of someone else who went out with a famous female swimmer. It's not you then. Oh,
No.
okay.
No. Okay.
Do you
Then
want me to carry on guessing?
yeah, I think this will make a great pod.
Okay. Is she
What are we going to have? 10 questions?
a TV personality?
Nope.
Is she a sporting personality? Is she a politician?
Nope.
Would I have heard of her?
Not her name, but when I tell you what she's famous for, you will have heard of that. You might not know her name. That's a bit cryptic.
Oh, is she famous for doing something? Inventing
I
something?
think most people are famous for doing something.
But like, not these days. You have to be
Gemma
fit. Just
Collins.
on just be on TV. Yeah. Did she invent something?
Nope. She was on with the other celebrity
Right.
was a very close friend who I also knew of my crush. There's a bit of a clue. So there were two women.
Are they an item?
They were 2/3 of an item.
You have said this.
Okay.
They're
Fruit-based item.
yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I've got like 2 guesses left.
Yeah.
Was she 1/3 of a famous UK female pop act?
Yeah. Probably the best-selling ever in the world, I think, from the UK.
Probably.
I guess. Yeah, come on. Well, I think you got it.
I don't know her name, but I think she was 1/3 of Bananarama.
You got it.
Amazing.
So there we go.
So you play. We were talking about Kiss Chase in the last episode.
Yeah.
You play Kiss Chase with someone from Bananarama.
Yeah.
Are you going to mention her name?
Sarah
Okay.
Dallin. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
That is cool.
But it was lovely to see her. And the point I'm making is actually seeing her. We were saying this before. You hear a certain song and
Yeah.
it can just take you to a place. Or we were saying
Do you,
about
get
food.
do you get a little tingle in your belly?
Yeah, seriously. It was just
Your
like...
voice changed.
Seriously. No, it
lovely.
just takes you back to your
Yeah,
school
no, it
days,
does,
doesn't
it's
it?
nice,
So yeah, that was just
That's
that was
cool.
pleasant. It was a
I
nice
can't
surprise.
believe I didn't remember because there's so many times when we're training you've gone, Dave, I've got to tell you my Bananarama story. You
Never
said it
did.
No, you never did. Oh, that was really good.
Okay, it's better than the Rhinos.
Yeah.
Bit more
it's
uplifting.
Yeah.
I think her debut single was "I Still Love Mark." I'm not sure. Second, "Lost Love." Third, "I'll Never Find a Love Again." I don't know. Bananarama songs. So that's her. That one there in the middle.
Oh yeah,
That's
she's
not when she's 10.
hold on, this is the middle one in a 3. That's
Yeah, she's-
practically Beyonce. Isn't it?
It is.
It's the English Beyonce.
Yes.
Fair play.
Thank you.
Does she ever write or text?
I think there's little hidden things in her. I'm just looking at some of it. There's Cruel Summer. I think that's when we split up. Venus. What is it? Men are from Mars, women are from Venus. Is it that way around? I heard a rumour. Love in the First Degree. Yeah, it's all
I mean, it's pretty much about.
shy boy.
Oh God, yeah.
I went out with this introvert when he was
Yeah.
10. It ain't what you do, it's the way that you do it. And then I want you back. So,
My heart is broken in two.
yeah. I think there's a story there, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay, we're at the end. That's it for this episode. Well done for getting this far. Thanks for listening. Please make sure you subscribe to us and give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, and give us a follow on Instagram and Twitter at I'mFinecast. And you can also send an email to us at imfinecast@gmail.com. In the next episode, Mark, can I please talk about my guts?
Yes. You've been very quiet about your guts, haven't you?
Yeah, but I did something you'd be very proud of me. I did something really anarchic this week.
Okay.
I put some poo in the post box.
Okay.
That's naughty,
Unsolicited.
Isn't it? No, not at all.
So you're
was completely
awaiting results?
Yeah, I am, yeah. I won't go into the details of my poo extraction, but...
No, I think people know how to do it.
Won't know how to put it in a tube with a spatula. I mean, not everybody does, right?
No, true.
Shall I leave it there?
Yeah.
All right. We'll see you in the next episode.
Bye.
Bye.